So I'm getting tired of the wiring mess here. When I put the Boss radio in here, I ran the USBs out of place in the dash here, that way we could plug into them. And so today I'm actually going to mount this in the dash, that way we don't have that problem anymore, and I'm going to put it right there. So I don't know if you guys have that open pocket in your Silverado, but that's what we're going to do today. Alright, so the first trick is that you're going to want to pull your steering wheel all the way down, and I'm going to need my key. You're not going to start it, but you're going to want to free your column up because you're going to pull that down. Okay, now I've gotten pretty good where I can do this with my hands. You're just going to get a hold of this right here and pull out and get your fingers back in behind the top and pop it out. And you're going to go around making sure it's pop free all the way around. That is the one good thing about these old Silverados is you don't need the tools to pry everything out. And so I always have good luck pulling here once I get all that loose and get it in front of the dash. You're going to pull your all the way down into first there, and then you'll free that up. Now I've got hazards on, so now I can take and put it back up in park, lean the steering wheel back up, and shut the truck off. So we're going to set this out there where it won't get tore up. Alright, now that I've got that put up, there's a little clip, and it's right here on this side. Take your screwdriver, get up in there and just twist, and you could pull out on this, and there it is, it's removed. So now we got to go drill a hole in this mess. Okay, so inside of here, there's going to be some stuff in here for strengthening, and that's going to be in our way. So I'm going to take these side cuts, and I'm going to go down through there and just cut that right there, all the way around. I'm going to try and cut over as flush to the side as I can. It's a little harder on this side here that it's got two of them because you're over close to the other side of it. Okay, so now that's all out there. So, and now I'm going to cut to the center so I can just start breaking them off and do what I want to do with them. Because when we go to drill that out and we go put that piece in, those will just be in our way. And if we drill it without removing those first, then we'll drill through the center, but they'll still be on the side, and that's going to have to make contact with the back. So it's just going to be a problem. So then I'll just grab them, and probably need a pair of needle nose where I can actually waller them back and forth, but I'm going to break them out of there. Okay, so the inside I've got pretty well cleaned out. Where I couldn't cut, I used a nose grinder on the drill. And the reason I've done this is because this is the nut that's going to go on the back side of that, and it is an absolute snug fit down in there. And I don't know which way it's going to fit better, but I think the other way, because the corners are going to land between where those used to be. And so it'll push down in like that right there, and that will hold the out. There's not going to be a whole lot of room left in there, so we don't have to worry about this piece being weak because it's pretty well going to be filled up with this piece. So now I need to lay out the hole to be drilled. Okay, so I've measured my center point. Now my center point's not the center of this right here. It's actually going to be the center of this box right here. And it would probably look better in the dash if it was actually the center, but I don't really want to get into the side of this for where it's located at. So that's our center point right there, and that right there will put it like that, which is going to give us a little bit of a lip from the way this is made. It's pretty well going to take up this whole area, but that's about 1.5 inches from side to side here. That's the center that way, but this is offset. So this measurement coming in is closer to that side. So now I'm going to set up the vise. Now the problem is here is I don't want to like really clamp it down because, well, it's plastic and it'll break. I just want to kind of hold it. And then I'm going to change over to a really small bit to get started. Oop. See, that don't take very much. I did put very much pressure on it because that thing just falls right through there. So set that back up. And so now you can step up with a lot of different bits, or you can go ahead and get to your biggest bit you need. I'm going to use a unibit so I can take a little bit as I go. Now the only problem with the unibit is I'm going to have to be very careful, because on some of them, and this one right here is going to be, when I finish with this one, it's not going to be enough, so I'm going to have to step up to a bigger one, but I'm going to use this one first. Okay, so this one's obviously a lot bigger. If I drill it out this big, we're not going to have one of these left. So I kind of need to have an idea where I'm going to go to. So somewhere right in there, the large step right there, which is not going to be very much more than what we got. So if I set it down in here, I'm going to take it one step. There we went. That was our one step. So now, hold that please. My helper over there. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this, and just for testing, we'll send it through there, and boy, we are super close. So close so at this point that what I want to do is this is just plastic now. So I'm going to take a round file and finish this off with a round file. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I've got that drilled out, cleaned out, and I'm going to set this nut down in here like so, because it is a tight fit. Now the one good thing about finishing off with a round file or a nose grinder is if you're off center a little bit on your hole, you can kind of get caught back up looking at the back side and filing out the areas that matter. And so now I'm going to set this down in here, and where that nut pretty well goes in there, you just about don't even need to put a wrench on it or anything, but you got to make sure you get lined up good. And now I became popular. I'll shut that off for a second. I almost might want to start this way. Nope. It's going to be hard because I'm threading into the piece and threading into the nut at the same time. So push down on that and use the inside of that box to kind of hold it still. Now it's not working, doing what I want to. So I fished me a wire back through there, and this is where I had them coming over here through this split in the dash. And so I'm gonna take them, hold on, I gotta get that, make sure that wire doesn't overlap. I don't want things to be twisted back in there when I do this. Okay, so I'm gonna shove them back in there. Pull this wire this way. So now I've got my USB cables out here. So they will be able to push back. There's a large cavity back in here, so that'll push all the way back in there once I do that. So that's not a problem. So now we're going to take this piece of tape off. And so I never did take the tags off of them, so we know which one's which when we was plugging them in the truck. Because one of these is just a charging port, and the other one is for Android Auto. And so what I'm going to do is since this was just going to mount like that, I'm going to put the one closest to the driver, the Android Auto, because, well, why wouldn't you do that? And so when we plug them in, this one is the Apple CarPlay Android Auto. We're going to make it this one. And this one is just the charging port, so this will go to the passenger. Now, because I'm paranoid, I'm going to take tape and I'm going to hold those together real well and tape them so they don't come apart, because we do not want those coming apart back inside the dash there. Okay, I'm gonna do the other one the same way, even though they're pretty stiff the way they're together. I don't think they would come apart, but just to keep, while I'm wrestling that piece back into place, to keep them from coming apart regardless, would be nice. Okay, so that's done. So now we will just shove that back in there like so. Like I said, it's easily going back in there. And then take that and snap that back in place. And there's that right there. So now, probably the best thing to do is before we put the dash back together is to turn it on and test it. And so we will plug these cables in, and we'll make sure one is just for charging, and we'll make sure the other one connects to Android Auto. So let me find the keys here. There. Okay. So I'm going to plug this one in here, and then we're going to need another phone. So give me just a minute. So right now I can successfully turn my Wi-Fi and my Bluetooth off, and I never lose connection from my phone to there. And so just to show you how well that works, as soon as I unplug this, without the Wi-Fi connected, I lose the connection. So that is the Android Auto. I've got them selected right. And the other phone's on charge, and it's not trying to take over. So that's just the charging port. So now that that's done, oops. That's only held in there by a clip. When I get the dash on, that'll be different. So, and those are tight because they're new. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna shut this off. So the next thing we gotta do is get the dash back in here. Okay, same song, second verse basically. I'm going to drop the column all the way down. I'm going to turn the key on, pull the shifter down in first. Might I add to make sure you're on level ground or the e-brake set or something before you pull that. My foot's also on the brake pedal right now, so I'm going to set that in there like so. Get it behind the shifter down here. I've got some wires that I ran up overhead running stuff through the dash, and now I'm going to push down and just try and get that underneath of there. And once I do that, now it should slip down in, and I've hit my hazards, which is pretty well normal when you do this. Make sure my alignment pins line up. I'll come across through here, making sure everything lines up like so. Okay, back up and park. Put my steering column back where it goes. And there we go. Fully installed. Looks clean in the dash. Now I can take a USB cable and plug in there from my Android Auto on this one. And if we need to add anything more, we got room up here. But that is a done deal. So, if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button down there. I'm going to be making some more of who knows what. Guys, appreciate you watching, and see you on the next one.